So if you look at that, you see $480,000 to one company versus 414. Well, then you look at like, okay, why is there such a big difference? But when you look into it, and talking with Charles is out of town, but and talking with Torres and Mike can probably explain a little bit better. But the main thing is the deductible with these two. The one with the lower coverage cost has such a high deductible that if we were to have something happen, a roof go off at North Stewart, we wouldn't be able to afford to fix it. I mean, they're not a $500 deductible company. They're a percentage of your total value of your assets. And it gets very steep on some of the things that we've had. For example, the gym floor at North Stewart, when we had to replace that a few years ago, the deductible there was $500. With this company, it would have been, what we figure out,
I had it. It would have been almost $100,000.
$100,000
Out of pocket.
Out of pocket for the gym floor. You look at a big disaster, a tornado or something, to take a roof off or to a school, we wouldn't be able to afford, with what we have in our budget, to build it back at their deductible rates. So that's the big kicker there with them. So you guys, before a motion is made, do you have any discussion or questions for? There's several experts in the room.
I would like to ask to suspend the rules and have Mr. Eric Watkins, if he would be willing to speak, because he's just had several claims.
Yeah.
So I would like to make a motion to suspend the rules so that Mr. Eric.
Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Shelton. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay.
Mr. Watkins?
Well, I've dealt with this company for a long time. Been here a long time, maybe. But anyway, they've always done what they said they would do, and they give us a break every year. Bus drivers have to go through training because of the insurance company, and they give us a 1% break on the insurance just by the bus drivers going through the training that they require them to have. So that's not a huge amount of money. It's probably less than $4,000, but that is that much. And we've had two claims. We had a dump truck hit a bus over in Cumberland City, and we had a check within a week. And they always do that. And then we had a tree fall on the bus just before school was out. And I argued with them a little bit over that one, but anyway, they totaled the bus out, and the check's on the way, and of course we had a $500 deductible on that. So just like the chairman was saying, that 1% would really make a difference if we had something bad happen, like he said, a tornado or a fire or something like that, and have to put that. So. Now, I can't vote for you guys, but I think my recommendation would be to accept theirs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Watkins.
You're welcome.
Motion to unsuspend the rules by Ms. Fitchie. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gillum. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Back on track. Any other discussion?
Yeah,
Mr. Darrell?
Going back to this 1%, I'm assuming it's 1% what you're talking about. 1% of that.
It's all right if I speak.
Yeah.
1% of the value of the building. So, for example, North Stewart, the building value is $18,403. If something catastrophic happened to North Stewart, we would have to pay $184,000 for anything. 1% of that would be $184,000. Whereas with Tennessee Risk Management, it's $500 deductible.
Okay, Mike, that's why I was getting ready to bring up like that. But whenever you're doing that 1%, you're doing 1% the value of the whole structure, but even though you're only doing the gym floors all.
Yes.
Don't make sense.
No. Even though, and that's where you're talking about the $100,000, because you're doing 1% of the $18 million or whatever it was like that.
Correct.
Even though we're only going into the gym only and not another part of the rest.
The way I understand it, that's the way it works. And that also goes for the value of the contents of the building. like when the tornado hit in Wilson County, for example, not only did they lose a school, all the contents in it too, so you'd have to, it would still only cover 1% of the total value for the contents.
How are we voting on it?
Well, we have to have a motion first,
Yeah.
and then we'll vote on that.
I'll make a motion that we keep what we've got. That's
Got a
what-
motion?
What my motion is.
Give me just,
Just
here we go.
no brainer.
Motion by Ms. Fitzhugh to I guess to remain, but to accept
Accept.
the bid from Tennessee Risk Management.
Yes, consider this management.
And I'll
Yes.
second Ms. Dixon.
We got a motion, we've got a second there. Do we want to have any other discussion on the other companies? Are we ready to go into a vote? What do you guys want to do? I do want to say this, and that's not just because they're here, but they're here everywhere. You know, like something goes on, I see Tom in my sleep sometimes, but the customer service.
I'm sorry.
The customer service means a lot, especially like what Mr. Watkins said. When you can get a check to replace a bus in a week, that's pretty incredible. So I'm thankful for that, Ms. Fitzhugh. I would also agree with her motion. I think in the long run, regardless of saving $60,000-$70,000, we potentially could lose a whole lot more in the end.
With the age of our schools and the problems that we've had, things, not to say the weather of tornadoes that's tornadic, not to talk, Tom, that we're trying to get money, but you know, seriously, you know, we have a lot at stake right here. I mean, we do have a lot. So that's my feelings about it.
Or both things comparing apples to apples. Same thing.
Yeah,
Only reason I'm saying it like that, I'm looking at one up here, one of them's got an umbrella, the other one doesn't.
So it looks like it, but the way I read it and the way I understand it, Mr. Darrell, is like, your coverage is a lot better with the Tennessee Risk Management than the lower one, right? So than the other company where it says included or certain things, you have more coverage
Yeah.
on the Tennessee Risk than this one. This is all they offer though. But I'm guessing they bid the same thing, so it would be the same coverage.
Yeah, the specs on the bid were exactly, they did the exact same thing.
That's the way I understood it.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Also, one thing to understand, if you look on the bid from Public Risk Insurers, they use other underwriters. So there's 4 different companies that our local agent would have to deal with. There's one with Tennessee Risk Management, if that makes sense. So they have different companies covering different parts of your coverage. And I'll say that, and I am going to recommend that we stay with this. And that's my recommendation. If no other, just the service and the relationship we've had with them. You know, we've had a few lawsuits. They've been provided instantly. Within a day of the lawsuit being filed, I'm getting a phone call from one of them. We got so-and-so's going to handle this. So in our current situation and with the way litigation is in society now, that's very important. I have no idea what the other companies do. You know, we bid this out to try to, you know, I thought it would be a good idea every 5 years or so to do that. Just to, and I told them before we did it, and they said that we needed to. The Tennessee Risk Management did.
And one thing that I did find out in talking to some folks about this public risk insurers, there was some school systems that started going to them a few years back. Well, they're now back with Tennessee Risk Management. They have, hey, we tried it, wasn't good, let's get back. And
I talked to Washington County, and they did that.
Any other discussion, questions? We have a motion by Ms. Fitzhugh to accept and approve the contract for Tennessee Risk Management. We have a second by Mr. Salt. We'll have a roll call vote on this, please.
Mr. Gillum,
Yes.
Mr. Shelton,
Mr. Dakis?
Yes.
Ms. Fitchie?
Yes.
Mr. Casal?
Yes. Motion carries. Very good. Next, line item number 9, the director's report.
I don't have much because we are meeting again in July. Just so you probably all know, we ended summer school today. We had 148 kids on an average who participated. I was out there every day at least for an hour. It was a great experience talking to the teachers and looking at the post-tests that they took. It was really beneficial to those kids, and I think they had a good time. It's hard going to school in June. And I don't know who was happier today when they rolled out, was the kids or the teachers that were there with them. But they did an excellent job, and that's about all I have.
Could I get you to give a report on the clear backpacks? I've had so many calls, and if you could update that would be perfect.
I haven't made an announcement because I wanted to talk a little bit about it with some more folks. I did a lot of research, or we did. I had a group of people and we met about it. There's mixed things on it. The logistics of having clear backpacks are going to be tough.
It's going to be a lot to it, yes.
Everybody already has the other backpacks. We have put in a grant for the Evolve, is it Evolve system with the COPS grant. We got that, and I don't know when that'll be in. That's to have for 4 metal detectors at the middle school, and the 2 at the middle school, 2 at the high school. The elementary schools, parents, I hope parents are going through their kids' backpacks little kids before they send them off to school. So I think we're gonna make a final ruling on it on next week when everybody gets back in town. We can talk a little more. But just to be honest with you, I'm leaning towards leaving it like it is. I know that we said we may go to that, to the clear, but once you get into looking at it, there's all kinds of things. Are you going to let them carry a little clutch to keep personal items in that people can't see? Lunch boxes, sports bags. The sports bags we kind of handle pretty well because they put those in their locker rooms right when they get to school, when they get there in the morning. They're not allowed to carry those around the buildings. But I've heard a lot from parents too. They're not really.
I'm hearing a lot. That's the reason I
and
asked
they're
you
not,
to
and
report
they're
it.
not, and they're not. How are yours coming across? 4 or again?
Well, it's more to, I know when Gary called me after that Antioch, and he said, we're going to go, I said, there's going to be a lot more to it. I mean, you have a lot of hygiene products from girls, you have a lot of sports from boys and girls, and it's just going to be more detailed. I've even had parents tell me they'd rather not have them at all than to have clear ones, because it's going to be so much. So I'm hearing everything.
That would be a nightmare at the high school because
just what I'm hearing. But I've had more calls, and a lot, and I know they do the backpack program at the Fort Donaldson? They do the Fort, and they're getting ready to buy backpacks. And so they have asked me, because they don't want to go and buy all these backpacks and then something be different, clear or the other. So, it's just been, that's the reason I wanted you to and if I stole you thunder for not being able to do it whenever the next couple of weeks, that I'm just getting a lot of calls, and I felt like it was something that needed to be brought out.
They're wanting to get things taken care of.
Yes.
And I understand that, and I wasn't trying to be coy about it, but I wanted to make sure that we made that statement last spring. I'm forgetting when that happened. Sorry, it's lost me. We made that statement, and we probably should have just held back because we got something going that once we got into it and really studying, Mr. Watkins was in the committee meeting with us with safety, and it's a concern, but reading up on it, there was some places that did it. All the research says that that's not necessarily going to stop anything. The key is having good relationships with the kids, of course, and people reporting things, and parent involvement, knowing what your kids are having their backpacks, and just being vigilant, which I think our schools are. If you ever try to get into one during the school day, it's tight. You know, and I know that we have to worry about somebody bringing it in that's allowed in there. Hopefully, we'll get the grant we're looking
That's
at.
what I would really like to
And
see.
if
is
not,
the
then
detectors.
I'm willing to go and see if we can get some help
I
from.
think that's what we need to do. I think that should be our,
Mhm.
you know, because I've been seeing the reviews and, you know, nothing's 100%.
Right.
But these detectors are really cutting back on things.
can
They're
get,
catching a lot of, they're being able to retain a lot of things that's going through there
Mhm.
that would not normally be. And just, I know y'all probably don't want to hear this, especially if you're a teacher or school, but just a little bit ago, I booked a 6-week appointment, and that's July 31st. So that's how close we are to school with them buying backpacks, and a lot of people go on vacation and they do school shopping there. So I felt like it was something that you needed to report,
Yeah.
okay?
That's
Thank
good.
you.
We can't say enough about how great our SROs are. Security's top notch, I believe. I mean, Kyle couldn't even get into the meeting tonight. Door was locked.
Yeah, no joke. Almost went back home. For me, I got 2 younger kids that are in middle school right now, and then coming up to middle school soon. I agree. I don't care for the clear backpacks, the clear whatever for girls. For boys, it's a little different, but even still, it's a violation of. I still believe in a violation of rights to an extent, even though it's inside. I don't like metal detectors either, but we have to do something. But if we could put a date maybe next week, if you could say, I know I'm putting you under the line here, but hey, Kyle, Friday, we'll know. So if you ask
I'll
us,
tell you what I'll do. I should be able to tell you everybody's something by the end of the day Monday.
that sounds good to me.
How about that?
I appreciate
Looking
it.
up.
And we'll
That'll
put
work.
it out.
That'll
Thank you.
work.
I would say the end of the day tomorrow, but we were open today and we're closing for Juneteenth tomorrow, letting everybody have a day off.
Sounds good.
Just, you know, because I think it's really, it's communication to the parents and to the community of something that we need to be, and just to know that it's not been sent out and then it's not anything being done about it.
Right.
Because it's nothing else been said. So, I have one more thing, if you don't mind. Miss Judy Hutchison, I saw her a few weeks ago at the dollar store, and she had told me this was that was her last night. She retired. And over the years, and I'm sure y'all have replaced somebody that will do just as well. You haven't replaced anybody?
We don't, that's not our employee.
Oh, okay.
They
Well, I
haven't-
mean,
they haven't
I
replaced
think they
anybody yet.
probably will.
Oh,
I
they're
think
going
she
to.
told me they were.
Cleans here and there.
Yeah, but I just want y'all to know, she was such a sweet lady, and I think she did a really good job, and she's gonna be missed, because when we come in, she is the most humble and meek person. But she would go and pick up, because I know I've left things, and I know all of y'all have too, you're men. So, you know, so she was she never grumbled, she had a smile on her face, and I just wanna say, I'm gonna miss her, because she was a very nice lady. That's all.
Thank you. Anybody else? Announcements? Anybody got any announcements? Who's got the next motion we want to hear?
Mine is not.
I'll make it.
Motion
Take your
adjourned by
place.
Mr. Darrell. The second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Shelton. All in favor? Aye. Hey, thanks guys for coming.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.